You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. You're a pusher.
Why do you make you pusher,
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place, you should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in the world right now, much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chains. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I am your host, John Hansboro. It is March the 8th, 2023. This is a special show tonight. We have a wonderful poet and artist on tonight, and we were just speaking before the show. This is an anniversary for us because I've had this young lady on March 9th of last year. Around the same time. All right. So I want to introduce you all to Anita, Nicole, Savagw. How you doing, Anita?
I'm good. How are you? And how's everybody doing?
I cannot complain. I cannot complain. It is so good to see you after all of this time.
I'm telling you. Time flies. A year ago.
It goes really fast. It goes really fast. I wasn't able to get down to the open mic that you did at what's the name of it?
Serenity,
right?
Serenity.
Serenity.
Wine bar, yeah.
Yes. Where the food was so good. I remember when we was there last year.
It's good.
But I saw a couple of videos or a couple like short videos of what you did, and it was absolutely incredible. And it was
thank you. Thank you.
It was really good to see you up there in front of everybody doing your thing. It really was.
It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's new now though? You have a book out now, right?
Yes. My book is finally ready for distribution. Woo-hoo.
All right. And that is Wings of Freedom, right?
Yes. Poems of Inspiration. And it is a book of 30 poems. So it's not a long book. I mean, it's a meaty book when you talk about substance, you know. And so it definitely I dived into my personal struggles and my victories, and my family is all embedded into it. It's just a beautiful collection of poems that just come straight from my heart. So I love it.
You just said something about the beefy substance, because I got my first poem book has 20 poems in it, and then the second one only has 25. But what you just said about the meat and substance is so important, because you know, over time, over the last year or so, I've just seen how what we do as artists, as in poetry and spoken word, like it was always a big thing, but it seems like it's just it's taking more wings and just spreading more to me right now.
Like wildfire.
I've seen some in churches where they're trying to like inspire young children or find a way to get to them. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. How long have you been writing?
I want to say since my teenage years, but really getting into like the real kind of like bringing out certain points in my poetry. I want to say around 29, 30. Yeah. So after I had went through my divorce, and I had just had my twins the 2 years before. It was a difficult time for me at that time because I was really just kind of, like you said, just kind of getting to know more about who I was at that time. Right. And how I was developing as a woman, and trying to show my strengths through the weaknesses that I felt that I was going through at that time. So it was a deep time for me.
And you better believe once you put that book out, it's going to inspire a lot of people.
I can't sit on it no more. Can't sit on it no more. And I actually published it when I was going through my divorce. So I didn't even put it out. I just published it, and I just did it privately. Didn't tell my family too much. I didn't tell my friends too much. It just came out of it was birthed out of pain, and it was nurtured through my love, and it just grew so much. And it was just like, it was something really intimate, though. It was private. I didn't really want to share with it too many people because I didn't want them to taint my vision, and I didn't want them to create any doubt within me to not do it, or not feel like it was the right time for me to do it, or if I didn't have enough money to do it. It was always something, but I did it.
And I'm so glad that you did. And what you're saying, like, it's so familiar because we all, as authors, or people who have goals and dreams, we all have those same doubts that you just mentioned. You know what I mean? But what's interesting, Anita, I swear, finding this out of pain, because this is how I came to this too.
Right.
I went through some things when I wrote my book, Unusual Favor. That's about me and my wife. And when she was comfortable with me sharing it, because her words to me was, "That's your truth."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. If you want to talk about what we went through and how we came out of it or whatever, that's your truth. So once she told me she was comfortable with it, I went ahead and did it because I felt the same way. At first, I didn't want to share it. I didn't want to put it out. You know what I mean? But you best believe it's going to help somebody. I didn't want to. At first, I didn't want to put it out, and then I went through the emotions, like back and forth. You know what I mean? When it was about to be published, but and I put it out in 2020, so it gave me some inspiration because we was dealing with so much at that time with the COVID. Yeah. But it still was a scary situation. But I had to keep saying to myself, "But it's going to help somebody else." Basically,
right?
That's
exactly.
You know what I mean? I had
it's
to say
about that. That's right. You got to keep pushing because as authors, as writers, we do have to step outside of the fear of hurting someone's feelings or making somebody feel uncomfortable, because they will trigger certain people to feel certain ways when you write. Writing is supposed to make you think. It's supposed to make you feel a little bit out of your comfort zone, quote unquote, but to make you think more about what your reality is. And some people, fiction, sorry, they actually creating you the imagery and imagination. So it gives you the insight about things you might not think about. So, we can't hold that back. We can't limit, ourselves to what others might think.
Absolutely. So, with this being Women's Month, and I see you have the royal color purple on.
Thank you.
What does it mean to you, Anita, to be a Black woman, basically? What does that mean to you?
Wow, that's a deep question. Well, I feel the first thing I think of as being a Black woman is strength, and wisdom, and so many things that we as Black women have to sacrifice on a daily basis because we want to ensure our safety of our children, our family. We put all of ourselves into our careers, whether it was our passions. We truly don't stop. We are determined women. And I know that in our blood, the genetics that God gave us and our ancestors, I mean, they gave us so much. Like, it would be such a disservice to us to not to shine. So every time I see a Black woman, you know, I think of royalty. Like you said, I think of regalness. I think one person said I had on a African dress, kind of like, you know, fully covered. It wasn't nothing that was seductive, quote unquote. Like they try to, you know, make us seem like, you know, we have to show so much to be noticed. We really don't. It's the aura of who we are, you know, and it shines so much through us when we speak, when we just walk into a room. You know, we are breathtaking and gorgeous, as I might say. But I feel like we have that majesty, and God really did bless us mightily with the melanin that we do have, so that we can glow. And I think that Black women have so much to offer the world, and we are the mother of all nations. So.
That's absolutely right, sis. I love it. I love it. That's absolutely right. All right, so let's just get into it. I cannot wait to hear some poetry from you. Whenever you're ready, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, just put it out there. That's what this platform is about, us putting it out there to the atmosphere to hopefully inspire or help somebody else.
Yeah. Right. So I wanted to just kind of give you the introduction, like, to my book, to like give people like a little bit about the book and what it really was birthed from, the inspiration. So it was Wings of Freedom. This is my introduction. Wings of Freedom, Books of Victory and Inspiration. Poems of Victory and Inspiration, excuse me. Was developed from a broken heart needing to be mended. This book was written for the readers to connect to their life force, God, through any adversity, obstacle, or situation. These poems are meant to stir the soul, bring deep emotions to the surface of our lives to heal us. These poems will evoke the soul and penetrate the core. This book is meant to free our innermost feelings about joy, sorrow, love, hatred, peace, anger, happiness, frustrations, and hope for a brighter future of freedom to believe. So this is the inspiration behind my book. I really want people to kind of dig into that, knowing that we are to be free to believe in ourselves. So when I wrote these poems, I really
love it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that was I like that. Damn, that was incredible though. It really was. Like that. That's an introduction right there. Damn.
That's it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Short and sweet, right? But I definitely want people to remember that. Like poetry, is something that is not really long-winded, quote unquote. You know, as a you know, novel would be, but when you read it, sometimes I do like to write down, if I'm reading anybody's poetry, what am I feeling after I read it? What did it make me think about? What came to mind? So it is therapy. So I am working on another project, not quite in the work and like printed out yet, but it's going to be on the lines of journaling with the poetry as well. So it's kind of like an interactive. So yeah, so I'm giving you a little bit of teaser there. So the first poem I wanted to share is called Sister Soldier. Since it is Women's Month, I had to give the sisters a little bit, and I know they're out there watching, and I know a lot of family and friends.
Yeah, shout out to your sister. I just seen her do a shout out. Shout out to her.
Yeah, I got a lot of supporters through this year. God has blessed me so mightily. Like even people I met through the open mics. I had gone to another level.
I swear, Anita, I say it all the time. It's something about that open mic experience where it's just so much freedom in the room. That's the only way I can explain it. And everybody just are connecting on some type of level. The energy is incredible. Like, I feel you. I love it. I really do.
It's a different experience. You really have to go to understand it. But the vibe and the energy, and especially when you get the different kind of poets and the different kind of performers and the singers, I mean, you leave with something, okay?
Exactly.
So you leave with something, and most of the time it's good things, you know.
So
This is called Sister Soldier.
All right.
All right. Sister Soldier, there's no other like Sister Soldier. Marching down that dreary lane, trying to refrain from the enigma of the oh so clever way the world tries to eradicate your edifice and the magnificence of your feminine qualities that dwells from your creativity. Sister Soldier, God's creation of youthfulness, of kindness, effortlessly feminine. Sister Soldier, your breastplate is as strong as the way that you contemplate the battlefield of all creation. There is no compensation for our sacrificial lives, sacrificing for our children, sacrificing for our men. We got it all inside, but we can't keep it in. We can't keep it in no more, Sister Soldier. It's time to fight the good fight. Time to ignite the people. Give them back what God gave us. Give them back their motivation, the sensation of authority. We need the quality of your femininity to produce soldiers from mothers. These soldiers will fight for the right to survive. In God's own time will we know what we're needed for. No more can we sit and wait. No more can we contemplate. Our lives, they try to devastate our children, our men. Sister Soldier, it's time to begin.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yes.
it.
We got to get it together, y'all. We got to get it together, sisters. You know,
I
it's
love
time
it.
for
I
us
love it.
to fight the good fight, you know?
I'm trying to find the words to put together right now. With just that, with just this year that has went by, to me, you sound totally different.
Oh yeah.
Like it's this that was so powerful right there. I loved what I heard from you in the beginning when I first met you, but I feel like it's been some type of growth or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You feel it? Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it and see it though. I can see it all over you. I'm serious.
That's it too.
I'm serious. I can feel it and see it all over you. But you have a style. See, that's what I like about it too. I like to feel people's different styles, how people flow is.
Yeah.
You are like you give me a feel like your words are timeless. Like they will just constantly, like it should be, I don't know, in school to help children, young ladies or something. You know what I mean? Seriously, I got like an Angela Davis feel, but it was but with the attitude of my girl, God, Giovanni.
Oh, Giovanni.
Giovanni. You know what I mean? I'm serious.
I love it.
What inspired that? What made you put that to paper?
I am a soldier. And I think that my life and my story, I have dealt with many things. Many things. I got through an abusive relationship, my marriage. I didn't come out of it unscathed. I'll say that I've learned a lot. But I feel like we downplay a lot of what we have inside of us, and we don't do enough to like drive what we know is inside of us, because we all have that intensity, that femininity, that power, that strength. And so we get stuck sometimes when we get knocked down, you know. A lot of people that I have helped along the way, and I was a teacher at one time, and so a lot of my poetry does center around the youth, and that so that they can find what they need to find so that they can feel the strength that they need to survive, you know, because life isn't going to be easy,
right?
But when it does get hard, you have to find a lot of strength within yourself. It's not going to come from outside, it's going to come from inside. So we really have to know who you are. And for me, the family unit is a lot of times we kind of overlook the things that we can learn within the family structure. And I know that under attack a lot in a lot of ways in our society. But women and the men that we have in our lives, including, not necessarily a romantic relationship, there's so many strong men that we can help along the way as women too, to show them the femininity that we have that can help them along, so that they don't feel like they need to fight by themselves. We have to nurture that part of ourselves so we can be that person that they need. So that's where that came from.
Sister Soldier, I love
Sister
it.
Soldier, we gotta fight.
Definitely do.
Yes.
And with sharing some of the things in your life that you dealt with, we already spoke about how it was kind of difficult to really want to put it out there or whatever.
Yeah.
When you read over it though, Anita, sometimes, because I know you like to go over and make sure everything is right and perfect.
Right.
What type of feelings did you get when you were reading over some of your own work?
Wow. For me, some of the things did bring about some emotions. I wrote a lot when my mother-in-law at the time, she passed away. And so I was not writing yet. I was kind of like speaking before I started writing it on paper. So I remember taking a day off of work. I was a teacher. I took a day off for wellness. I just wanted to go to her gravesite, and it was, I think, the King Memorial is where she is, and the cemetery there. And so I just drove and just walked around, and I started speaking and recording myself. It was the most spiritual experience I think I felt as a writer in a long time. Like, I felt so protected and so like I needed that like emotional day, because I was feeling heavy at that time. I was like, I can't go to school teaching nobody's children right now.
Right.
I was like, I just need some space. And so let me tell you, when the spirit tells you to go and take a day off and go do something for yourself, please do it. Let me just say that out loud to anybody that's watching, because it might create something and plant a seed like this.
Exactly. Yes.
So this came from that moment.
Yeah.
And it could have been a sad moment. It could have been a solemn moment, but I didn't. I took it. Like I said, I started speaking over myself and speaking to myself from a place of sadness, but then it was a place of power too. So, we have to accept those emotions and just be okay with it and not fight it. We try to be tough all the time. You want to act like you good and you're not good.
Right.
Who are you trying to fake for, yourself or what? Who are you doing that for?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I need you to step back and think about it. So that really that moment in time where I was missing a loved one, and sometimes grief does bring about a lot of good things. We think about grief and we think about crying and tears and sadness, but what comes out of that?
Right.
So, think about that. So, but grieve and do what you need to do, but also go to the next level. And like you said, I look different. I feel different because I've really been digging deep down inside. I think that's a house club music, but but I've been really working on myself because when I do read my pieces, and it does make me go back to those days when I was sad and when I was fighting for my life and I was, trying to get out of that darkness. But then I think about it, I'm like, wow, this is going to help somebody else.
Right.
This is going to help anybody that will ever hear, like you said, the words. I pray that my intention is that they feel something that's going to help them go to the next level, because there is freedom through the pain. It is.
Yeah.
I was there.
Definitely freedom in the pain. Let's hear another one. I want you just whenever you're ready, let's just go right ahead, do something else.
Let me see. So challenges. This is the one I call challenges. Okay. And in the book, I do have like pictures. Let me see if I can say. Like, and I actually took these pictures myself.
Okay.
I'm trying to be creative, uh, so a lot of the pictures do speak on the poem as well. So people that are visual, that can actually help you to kind of connect to the poem through the picture.
Yeah, I love that though. That's different. That's very different.
Yeah.
Not only did you write the poem, but you put the illustration in yourself of pictures that you took.
I did.
There's no other way to get that feeling across to me. That's I love it. I really do.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's called Challenges. Okay.
Okay.
Broken promises, all kinds of excuses, why you feel useless. The mundane, chaotic, intense events that occur over and over again. And the challenges to left and right, feeling defenseless against those challenges. Nevertheless, hope rests beneath these challenges. Sometimes I wonder why God chose me to deal with these challenges. The only answer is I'm destined to be more than a conqueror, destined to rise above these challenges. Don't look at me with pity or shame, because even though I might complain, my life would never be the same without these challenges.
I love it. I hear an audio book in your future, Anita. That's what I hear.
Oh yeah, I'm working on that. See, you told me that a year ago. You did say that a year ago. And
it's your voice. It's your voice. I'm telling you. Seriously, it's your voice. And I got two daughters, 13 and 11, right? And I used to volunteer at some of the schools a couple years ago, and I commend y'all teachers because y'all, that's a whole nother level of stress, of worry, you know what I mean? Because especially a teacher who cares about the students, I've known teachers who used to bring combs and brushes and lotion and stuff out of their pocket. Out of their pocket for these children.
They become our children.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. But I hear an audio book in your future, man, because we gotta I feel like we gotta find so many different ways to reach the youth. What I mean? My girls, along with my nephews and all the other kids I see, they just be with the phones just like in there all day, you know what I mean? My girls don't even watch TV. They just they're watching on their phone. They won't even watch the So it's like
we gotta get to them. We gotta get to them through the phone.
Somehow,
we gotta. I do want to do audiobook. I really, really do. So I'm thinking about doing that with the book. So right now it is available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Excalibur, which is my publishing company. They actually have it on the website as well. But I'm thinking about recording it and having it available like on Audible. And things like that. So I am working with a producer right now, trying to put together like an EP kind of thing, and I am going to do a YouTube channel eventually with the audio and the visuals. Like I was, because a lot of our, everybody, when you're listening to poetry, like I said, the visual part of it kind of hits a certain part of the brain.
Right.
And can kind of like draw you into what the words are saying so that you can create that imagery. And it is like a seed. So you plant it into your brain and it will register better than if you just read it from a book. Like I love reading. So everybody doesn't. It's just we're all different. But some people prefer to just hear it and or some people have visual impairments. They can't read it. So I might, do some braille. Who knows? I don't know.
That's a good one. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm thinking of every way possible that I can touch as many people as I can. And that's my goal. And my mother told me she used to want to write as a child. And my grandmother was not very supportive of her to do it because she didn't think it was going to be lucrative to her future. Like, so she was thinking she was protecting her.
Right.
But she was really holding her back from something that might have changed somebody else's life.
And that's something so deep in our culture, isn't it? That's something that's in our culture.
That's why I didn't tell nobody about this.
Yeah, I feel, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why, because I have some people in my family that probably wouldn't have supported me, and they still don't,
Yeah.
even after the fact.
Yeah.
I have had people laugh at me.
Mhm.
They actually laughed when my mother told them about my book. Like they literally like laughed out loud. And I absorbed that because the ignorance that come
Mhm.
from certain people, you just have to
Mhm.
ignore. I
Absolutely.
can
Yeah.
show you better than I can tell you.
Ah,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So watch me fly, honey. Watch me
Right.
fly.
I
That's
went
how I
through the
feel.
same thing. I went through the same thing. And now I'll be like, make sure y'all get book number 2. Make sure you get that one too. Yeah.
Yes.
Make
Yes.
sure
Let
you
me
get
rub it
that
in a
one.
little bit more.
You know what I mean? But that's you're so right on that. And it's sad that that's something that our culture deals with. And just like you said, your grandma may have thought that she was actually helping. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? Because she's like,
Yeah.
well, just like all grandparents from those times that we all had, that's
Yep.
not going to bring you any money. You need to get out
Right.
and get
A job.
yeah, you need to get a job. You need to have some type of skill or something like that. You know what I mean? Something where so you can be there. You ain't got to worry about getting fired and all of that.
Right.
So
Right.
I definitely understand what you're saying. That's a great point that you made. Actually, it really is.
And my mother is she a preacher. So,
Okay.
she took hers to another level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, sermons and people, and that's another thing. Like, people use poetry. Like my church has invited me to do poetry in the church as well, which is
Mhm.
different. Um,
Mhm.
and in really, you could bring people closer in their spiritual relationship when you sometimes step outside of the rigidity of just the traditional structure of certain religion. It's like you want them to have a belief system, but you don't want to scare them away
Right.
with that fire and brimstone and trying to create in them that fear. It's like, okay, we all want to go to heaven, but we don't want to die. We do. We want the goodness of it, but we all struggle. So am I wrong for feeling like the way
Right.
I feel? Am I
Right.
wrong for writing it down? Am I wrong for thinking it? Like, we humans.
Right.
So don't judge me and condemn me for my feelings because God loves me regardless.
Right. Right. And it's a
Because,
great
yeah,
it's good that you're able to get the feelings out and put it
yeah,
on paper. You know what I
right.
mean? That's
That's
what's wrong with
heavy.
so many of us. We got so much shit bottled up inside trauma,
Hmm.
things that we dealt with in the past, whatever, you know what I mean? And I for instance, I went to my youngest daughter's school right around the corner.
Hmm.
She's in the 5th grade, and it was Fathers Read Across America Day.
Okay.
I forgot that I even signed up for it. I went to her classroom and I read some poems out of my book,
Uh-huh.
and Anita, I can't even tell you the feeling. I was
Hmm.
glad that I didn't break down and cry because my daughter
Oh.
that was her class. That
Oh.
was my youngest daughter's class. But the
Uh-huh.
thing that really messed me up was the next day, she brought home this manila folder, right?
Uh-huh.
And she opened it up and we dumped it out on the table. And it's notes from all of the kids saying, thank you for coming. And, you
Oh,
know,
that's so
the
sweet.
some of the stuff though that they were saying is I couldn't even. I'm serious. Like, you came and you stayed. You didn't just come and leave. And thank you for that.
Oh,
And just the way that they're thinking and the way that they put the words down just blew me away.
that's
And it made me feel so good to be able to go and talk to them. And like
oh.
I'm saying, I try to express to them, look, you can express
Mm.
yourself in so many different
Right.
ways. If you're not a
Exactly.
writer, you could be. It was one kid that draws. I said, there you go.
Uh-huh.
You can
There you
draw,
go.
draw it
That's
out.
it.
You
That's
know,
right. It's
I
it's a
think
creative. It's creative. No matter where it comes from, how it comes out.
right.
If it's dance, if it's music, if it's playing an instrument, if it's like you said, writing just in general, just anything you think in your head, just putting it into words, that is a beautiful thing. That is
Yeah.
so beautiful. And that's good that you took the time out to do that because I've done that too. I think I went to Windsor Hills Elementary School. right close right next door to my church at Shiloh AME Church. And I just did a workshop, like a poetry workshop. And those children act like I was a celebrity. Okay. I was like,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
They just took everything in. And
They
I
do.
hope and pray that they never forget the things that we talked about,
They
because
won't. They will
when you
not
plant
forget.
those seeds, I'm
Yep.
telling you,
Yeah.
plant those seeds and they will grow. So what are you planting? That's what you need to ask yourself. People that's out there working with children or working with young
Right.
adults,
Right.
what seeds are you planting? Are you planting seeds of encouragement? Are you making them feel less than because you're talking down to them? Are you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing to encourage them to show their creative side? Because truly, that's what's going to make them who they are in the future.
Right.
So I think I commend you for that, because I think everybody that can work with children at some point try to do that, whether it's volunteer, children's hospital, like anything, because children do want to see adults they might not see on a regular, quote unquote,
Yeah. Yeah.
that show them that they are important, and they do
Right.
need attention, they do need that affection and time away from what they have to do in school, just whatever they're doing.
I
So I
love it.
really do. I mean,
I
I'm
love
gonna do that more often this year. I think I'm gonna do that regularly.
it.
I don't know how, but I'm gonna talk to a few of my friends and see if any school system would let us come and do like an assembly. We used to always have those assemblies. Like, I don't know what happened to
Yeah.
assemblies, but
Exactly. Talk right. Right.
we
Yep.
lived on
I
them
still
assemblies.
to this day remember what's the talk show? Montel Jordan. I mean,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Montel.
right. That's the
Uh-huh.
bald head guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came to my middle school, and you talking. This was in the late '80s. Like, I'd never forget that. I remember him coming to the school. He kept talking about. He was like doing inspirational stuff. He kept saying, "Mountain, move. Mountain, get out of my way. Mountain, you can't move me. Mountain, get out
Oh,
of my
so
way."
he was like really putting it in there. Okay. I
He
love
came in
it.
there with
See?
his little. He had his army uniform on. I never forget. I was in like 6th or 7th grade. You know what I
Really?
mean? And you write small little tidbit things
Telling
for
you.
children throughout life, just builds things and just plants that seed,
That's right.
Let them know that they can. That's what I kept telling them. You can do anything, but you gotta
Anything.
put the work in.
You do.
You can do whatever, but you gotta put the work in. You can't expect it to happen for you if you're not putting anything into it. You know
Right.
what I mean? I
It's
feel
not
I,
gonna
I
just
got
drop in your lap.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You gotta
Anita,
show
let's
that you're
go.
worthy of it.
Yeah. Whatever
It
else
is
you
a
got,
gift.
let's do another. I know the people want to hear you. They
Okay.
don't want to hear me keep talking.
Okay. We are learning about each other. That's a good thing. This is about network and motivation.
That's right. You're
So
right.
let me see. Let me see. So this one is called Raindrops.
Okay.
This is called Raindrops. And this one is probably motivated by some of a little bit of that pain that kind of trickles down a little bit into things, and then you kind of, just like you said, it kind of waters
Mm-hmm.
those things that need to grow and to be released. So this is called Raindrops. Every drip drop of my misery, every fallen dream, every time the raindrops fall, they always seem to cleanse my soul, regardless of the way I feel. As the rain drips down, I know that it heals. I know that as I am submerged in my sadness, the more that the rain falls, covering the madness, I know that once the rain stops dripping from me, the sun will beam, the sun will gleam, its beautiful light on me, so that I can see the purity of the crystal clear simplicity, the smallest raindrops on me. So let it rain and let it pour, so that I don't have to feel that hurt anymore. I'll soak my clothes because all I want to do is to dispose all those wasted thoughts, the manipulated actions, false reactions of those shallow infractions of my mind. Because the rain drops slower in time so that I can actually see, dry my eyes. But I can't do it by myself. So, God, please send the rain. because you know the places that are stained. You know the time it takes to mend those scars deep within. So let all the rain drop from my skin. From For in the end, I will be pure again.
I
Raindrop.
love it, Anita. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Rain on me, you know?
I got a poem called Raindrops myself. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I really love it. Yeah. How did you, so I want to ask you this too. Was when was the when was the first time you did a performance like a set of poetry?
Well, the first time I did,
Yeah.
in church. It was in church.
Same here. Yeah.
I think it was like 2016,
Uh-huh.
and I did Sister Soldier, and I did It Is Well with My Soul. I think I did those two, and I'm telling you, the church was like, what? But I didn't have the book. It was just my poems that I had wrote, just wrote down. And my pastor was like, it was Women's Month. I think it was Women's Season. We have Women's Season for the whole month. So we do like revivals and we do Women's Day. So this particular church service was Young Women's Day. So all the young women of the church were doing something on the program. So I did my poem. Another one of my sisters, she actually did she danced, and some people were singing. So it was just like a whole showcase. And it was just amazing. Like, I think that shifted the visual of the young women of the church, because once again, they're looking at the outer appearance. Oh, your dress is too tight. Oh, it's too this. Oh, your shoulders are out. You're not presentable. You're not. But what about my soul? What about my spirit? What about my prayer life? What about me? You're looking at everything else, but you're not looking at me. So I think that broke a lot of barriers when I did that, because truly I felt like I was under attack for many reasons. I mean, outside of the fact that I was singing on the choir, but I just felt like I can do other things. I don't just sing,
Right.
Don't box me in like that. So, that was my opening. I think that was my coming out. I'm going to show the world who I am. I'm not going to hold back anymore. I'm not going to act like I don't have a voice. Sometimes you need the haters, okay?
Yeah.
To motivate you to showcase I can do this without you knowing it or not. This is what I can do. So you got to show them sometimes. Just do it.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I
Just
love
do
it.
it.
That's interesting, because that was where I first shared poetry in front of people, was at the church that I was attending at the time. Shout out to Bishop Michael Wallace. It scared me though. You know what I mean? It really did scare me, because at the time, like that's a family church. Mostly everybody knows each other at that time anyway. And it's like, when I did the poem and I could see the reaction from certain people, or some people that I know, I'm like, because I'm looking at them and I'm seeing this is in real time of how it's making them feel. You know what I mean? And it scared me. I ain't gonna lie. It scared me, but at the same time, it made me feel like we have a responsibility as writers. That's when that kicked in. Yeah. When I was sitting back and watching everybody shout and dance and all that, I was like, but this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's right.
I found it in a time where I was completely broken as a man, and I'm an alpha man. I ain't gonna. But I was completely broken, and that's how I found the poetry and all that. So I, just like you, I feel like it's important to dig deep, because those feelings being brought out is what needs to be done to help yourself and other people, because you're helping you too, not just everybody else.
You are helping yourself.
For you as well.
You are.
So
it makes you stronger. It does make you stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you feel though after you did Serenity? When that was over, how did you feel?
I was telling them as I was, oh my goodness, I felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. I literally felt lighter. A lot of my friends was like, how do you feel? I was like, I'm still on cloud 9 right now. Like I literally feel that euphoric.
It was like a high, right?
Yes, it was euphoric for me. I was like, don't you know if you get a massage and you feel like you're extra loose? So I feel like I used other muscles like up here. I was using my brain muscles or something because I was really into it. I loved the vibe, the energy, oh my gosh, Jewel and oh my gosh.
I love them. Her and Desmond, I love them.
I am like, they are my family.
Too. Me and my wife love them a lot. Yeah. They special.
It's like I felt my family, and every time I went, it was a different feeling. So when I went that time, from the perspective of me kind of sharing my personal work, I felt so much support that I was nervous, of course, but I had so many of my friends and family around. They were all encouraging me and like, you got this. They knew that it was time for me to do this. And when Des asked me, I was like, okay. I didn't even hesitate. I did not.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of people that are asking me to do other open mics.
Absolutely, right.
And so I'm working out of DC sometimes, and now that I've kind of ventured out of Baltimore, I've noticed that so many doors are opening, in that area. So
absolutely.
Like, wow, absolutely. It's just a prayer answered. I really do feel like the stars, like it was written in the stars for me to be there that night. And the way that it came out and the way that I felt afterwards, it was just something that I needed to do. And past the nervousness and the fear of it all. Like you said, I don't know what they're going to think about me. I don't know what they're going to say, but I didn't care. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't.
They don't get these words, right.
I just wanted to get it out of me because it's time. Like you said, it is the time that we living in right now. If you're not genuinely, authentically yourself, you're not doing something right. You really do got to sit in your own space. If one thing quarantine taught us is that when the world shuts down all the way and you by yourself or you have just you and your family, how are you manifesting what you need for yourself? Like, how are you creating a peace within your own world? Nobody else can give you that. Nobody else can show you that kind of love other than yourself. We're talking about self-love right now. I'm not talking about the love you can get from other people. But we need to really nurture that as a culture because we're not going to have, quote unquote, each other all the time.
Right.
So I think that we really need to go into our own intimate moments with ourselves, whether it's, within your room, at work or wherever you can find the time in your car. You have to really speak over yourself and tell yourself and have that pep talk. Sometimes I go in the bathroom at work and give myself a pep talk if I need it.
I hear you. Trust me. Yeah.
Because who's to say that pep talk might not help somebody else? Like when you create that peace within yourself, it does permeate. It does give, you give off certain energy to certain people. So, I feel like that's gonna change the whole world. When we start digging into the self-love the way we should and stop worrying about everybody else, which social media kind of has, created. But I do like that it's a lot of encouragement going around. And like you said, it's like wildfire. The poetry, people doing a whole lot of conscious culture, digging into who you are, where you came from, what you feel. That's really what's going to change the momentum of everyone, the whole culture.
I believe that. I believe that, and it will help inspire the children to know that they can be more than what they may see on their block or when they come outside and sit on the front step. They don't have to be that. They can be so many other different things. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Anita, I thank you so much for coming on. Please tell everybody how we can follow you and keep up with you. Definitely.
Okay. You can always find me on Instagram at Lovely Anita Savagw. That's my my private page, right? But my business page is Wings of Freedom 7. That's my number. Wings of Freedom 7. And that is my page, and I'm going to be promoting the book, marketing, everything. And I am working on some music. So, I got to add that in there.
Good. Absolutely. Yes.
So I'm excited about that. So there's other projects going on. So if you ever need me, DM me. Not no crazy stuff, though, because I blocked it,
Yeah.
Because, I have a lot of resources from a lot of different perspectives. So if you need anything, assistance for any reason, I just want people to just know that I am here for you. And the love that I have, it can't be contained. Right. So, I'm flying high right now.
I love it. It's been a pleasure to have you on for part of Women's Month. Women's
Anniversary.
Month. Happy anniversary for your 1-year Spitfire return. And just thank you, Anita. Thank you for being the strong sister that you are and doing what you're doing, because it is needed and it is greatly appreciated. It really is.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, John. I do.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see you and give you a big old hug.
Absolutely. Hey, coming up soon, because I got a couple. I'm gonna do some open mics once a month for the next 4 or 5 months, starting in April, I believe. I'm gonna see how that works out, but I'll keep everybody posted on that. But I would love to get everybody in one room so we can all network and collaborate. And you know what I mean?
That's right.
The sister that I had on last week for the start of Women's Month, her name is Jamila, but you can look her up as Jam Mac on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
She is from Detroit, but she lives in Nashville, Tennessee. She does open mics.
Awesome.
She's really good as well. Really good. Awesome. And I would love to have all of you guys link up and just, I don't know, just do a powwow or something, do some girl power stuff.
Set it up, John. Yeah, we got help hook it up. All Absolutely. Right. I love you guys.
So much. I love you too, Anita. Thank you so much. Say hi to your beautiful family for me.
I will.
Stay safe and stay vigilant, everybody. This is Anita Nicole Savagw. If you want to be blessed, you must bless somebody else. All right, everyone. Have a good night. All right, sis. I see you.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.